Okay, so before we get into these shows, I did want to try something new. We're gonna test your Latin knowledge today.
Okay.
So we have a few. That's my first time doing this.
Yeah,
we have a few like legendary. It's a few legendary legends and a few newcomers.
Okay.
Can you pull it up, Karen? So he's about to pull it up, but you'll see it's shots. It's shots from music videos, Latin singer music videos, and we've made a silhouette out of the person.
Okay, bet.
So just based off, you can just go a couple seconds forward. Pause it. So just based off of the silhouette, the background behind the silhouette is the actual video.
Okay.
So it just based off of that, can you tell who that is?
Oh my gosh. Over time, the Puerto Ricans found like storage bins full of like supplies that were never.
So why didn't the supplies get to the people?
6 o'clock, the governor of Puerto Rico, Wanda Vázquez, held a fiery press conference this afternoon. This comes amid a controversy surrounding stocked warehouses filled with relief supplies that were supposed to reach those in need. The bottled water, cots, blue tarps, baby formula found in a warehouse in Ponce have become the focal point of questions about who in the government knew about the supplies in the aftermath of the recent earthquakes.
So the U.S., I'm assuming some organization from the U.S.
A lot of them did.
Sent these supplies to Puerto Rico for the people to get after this hurricane, and they ended up in this field.
Yep.
But what's the corruption there? Like, who is gaining from the people not getting the supplies?
So essentially, like when these supplies came over, they were saying, "Oh, like we don't have enough workers that are out here to send these over to you. We don't
pass them
have
out?
enough money." Yeah, but they did, and like there were truckers that actually flew from the stateside over to Puerto Rico just so that they can bring the supplies out, but they never did. So
hey, go ahead.
Well, not never. I'm gonna say never because they did open up like a lot of like relief areas, but stuff like this where the paperwork was in place, the commodities were there to be sent out, they just never gave it to them. If you step outside of yourself and your own perspective, you could really see what an influence you can make on other people and how you can embody that for yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's like I've been told that I wasn't shit, I wouldn't amount to anything, I was talentless, and I felt like hearing that from other people who weren't necessarily healed in themselves made me realize like what I can learn from that perspective and put that towards my own self to help other people. And, those were people who were close to me at one point. It was like partners and friends, and it's a really big pivotal moment where, especially like when people say like, you can't take everybody with you, where you go, especially during your healing journey. And as an amateur artist, having started out to where I am now, I would never imagine where I'm at, especially like with so much that I've learned being in the recording academy and being able to, utilize those tools and components that I learned while traveling for music and bringing that back here. Low key, like, because I could see the silhouette, but then I can't at the same time. Was that Shakira?
Damn, you got it.
Yeah?
So you got the first one right. Play that.
But I used to love her.
All right, this is number 2. So we start off with a legend.
Okay. So this one.
And also, okay, so you knew, first one you knew was Shakira. I didn't say the second part. Also, if you know what song it is, it's like an extra.
Okay, bet.
Yeah.
So
Who's
this
that?
looks like Bad Bunny's Titi Me Pregunto.
Damn, she on it. Hold on, play that. That's crazy. Okay. Come on.
I bet.
If she got the first 2 easy. Okay, hold up.
I
Third one.
Ooh, oh my gosh.
This one's kind of a trick one because the silhouette might throw you off a bit.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, bro. This one's a tough one. I got no idea.
You see bro in the back, that's a little hint.
Yeah.
If you could tell who that is.
God, hold on. That's not Mark Anthony, is it?
That's your final guess?
Yeah. I'm probably gonna be wrong, but yeah. I think
Okay, you got this one wrong.
Yeah.
That's play that, Karen. That's Pitbull.
Oh, no way. Oh yeah, Mr. 305.
All right, we got one more. We got one more.
Yo, I saw his concert, by the way, with T-Pain.
Was it recently?
Shit, yeah, that shit was
How was that?
hilarious.
We
Oh
do
my
the last one.
gosh.
It's like, pause that.
Yo.
Yeah, how was the Pitbull and T-Pain concert? First of all, they
Insane.
both have a crazy amount of hits.
Yo, they do. But like the way that they went about it.
Okay, so we have one more.
All right, bet.
This is, you know who this is? I actually just found out about this artist today.
Okay.
But apparently she's huge.
Okay. This looks like Karol G.
Damn, you own it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was saying Karol G is Karol G.
Yeah.
This is Provenza. What is that song?
Yeah, Provenza.
What does that mean?
Yeah. So if you play it, like you'll kind of see the meaning behind it.
It was a bunch of bad ladies on the beach. Like I was like, yo, shorty bad. Hold up.
Man.
Play that shit, Karen. What is some stuff, I guess, that people might not know about Panamanian or Puerto Rican culture? I always felt like the Spanish people I knew growing up, I always felt like they were really like strong in their culture.
Yeah.
Like I'm from Bosnia.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I have you might not be able to tell by looking at me, but like I'm an immigrant and I have an immigrant mindset.
Yeah.
I always felt like I'm an undercover immigrant and like an undercover Muslim person because you wouldn't be able to tell by looking at me.
Yeah, yeah.
But I very much grew up with my parents. I'm making, you might resonate with this.
Yeah.
I'm making, even as a kid, I'm talking to people on the phone for my parents. I'm translating as like a 7-year-old. I'm translating important shit from my parents, right?
Yeah.
But like there's a thing that Bosnians talk about, and I think other immigrants too, how you can become Americanized.
Yeah.
Right? And then like some people like from Bosnia or from the place you're from might be like, oh, you're Americanized. Like it's like an insult.
Like you're not from
But
here.
I always felt like Spanish people like did a good job at like retaining their culture and being like proud about that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like our pride is very big on that, but at the same time, we experience the same thing. Like there's a lot of people that, especially who don't know Spanish well or don't know how to speak it, but can resonate through music. They're called no sabo kids, because like, you know, if you took Spanish, instead of saying like no sabes or whatever the case may be, from there, no sabo is actually the incorrect way of saying it.
Like incorrect grammar.
Yeah, incorrect grammar. Yeah. So then from that point, like people will make fun of, you know, those who lived in the U.S. or even just in Canada. And they would be like, yeah, you're not from the country that you say you're from or even where your family's from. So that still happens till this day, which is wild because, like, you know, I'm that type of person where it's like if you know who you are and you stand on that, and especially being, you know, a child of an immigrant as well. Like my dad was in the Navy, so he was already like U.S. citizen. But my mom, on the other hand, like she had to learn a whole new culture. Same thing, like how to translate, how to, you know, sit there and, you know, while she was learning Sesame Street stuff with us, like she was learning English.
So she didn't speak English when she met your dad?
Barely.
Or did your dad speak Spanish?
My dad, so that's a whole nother story. But like my dad and my mom met, they didn't know each other's languages. Like he was a Puerto Rican from New York and went into the military. And then that was like one of his first duty stations in Panama. Met my mom. He barely knew Spanish.
How do they communicate? Like, how do they fall in love?
That was, man, that's the romanticization of everything for real.
Yeah.
Like, they saw each other. There's this place, I know I'm kind of segueing, but like, there's this place in Panama called the Causeway. So it's like a street, a really long street. And then there's like islands that go across the streets. And then, so people will park their cars. And then one day my dad had his Thunderbird, and then he had his car with him, shipped it over, and then he saw my mom across the way. He tapped his buddy. He's like, "I'm gonna marry that girl one day." This was a couple weeks ago. Like we got approached
for the Post Fest.
Yep.
See, I wasn't sure if this was already because it's happening the original weekend where something in the water was supposed to happen. So I wasn't sure if like they already had it set up to happen at that same time or something they put together after it got canceled.
It was after it got canceled.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, full transparency, like we don't hold anything back, but BJ was approached along with, a lot of other community leaders like Gabe, Raisa, Antidote, and the city asked them, they're like, hey, like we still want to put on something for the community and we want to be able to, work with you guys. And so we already had like a pre-existing, presence with the 17th Street stage, with, the showcases we did over the summer, and also with the Vibe Festival and the Vibe stage as well. Mm-hmm. Same thing with like Utopia Fenny, what you see on First Fridays.
Where the Heart Is.
Antidote have recently done their shows too. It was just a great experience. So they're like, hey, like let's do what we do best for our community. So at that point, BJ just brought everybody together. It was like, hey,
it's like 50 artists on that shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're working hard right now.
Did the city pay for the headliners for Rotimi and B.O.B.?
So that's something I can't really say. Okay. But like if you look into like my lyrics, there's a lot of Easter eggs in it, and especially like through the transitions, because my real name's Natalia, and that translates to like Christmas Day. And then the first track starts about like talking about Christmas and like womanhood and things like that. So as you go through the entire thing, it walks you through my entire life and kind of like how I healed through it.